This episode of the Long Run podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
There you go. We are in business, as we say, hopefully. And hello,
Hello, and welcome to our special episode of the Long Run with Red Bull and Wings for Life. And today we have the lovely Colin Jackson here, and we're going to be talking to you about the Red Bull Wings for Life challenge, Colin's journey, and tips for everyday runners.
That sounds pretty up my street.
Right.
We're in business.
Great. So just to start, obviously, FORDY Runs, we are an inclusive community. So the club was founded about 5 years ago by Chris Ford, and it was founded because he turned up to races. He was an everyday runner, had just started his kind of journey, and it was full of people in short shorts and vests and elites. And he was like, hold on, why am I here and what's going on? And he suffers with anxiety and ADHD, and not having people to talk to and to turn to. He was like, oh my God, I need to do something to bring everyday people together. So the community is now about 50,000 runners.
Wow.
Yet we are one of the biggest independent running podcasts in the country. There's a YouTube channel that goes from strength to strength, and at the moment we've got about 20 satellite clubs across the country, so run by volunteers that are running kind of groups up and down the country all week.
How fantastic is that? Yeah. That is really good. And it kind of tells you the importance that running has. You know,
exactly.
It really does how inclusive it can truly be. So yeah, that's a great thing. Great
absolutely.
Stuff.
And for mental health and for physical health. And so it would be great just to hear a bit from you about
Wings for Life?
Let's do Wings for Life first.
Do Wings for Life first?
Absolutely.
We
love a challenge, so talk to us.
Yeah, no, it was quite interesting because, you know, off mic, of course, we have a little bit of chinwag all the time, and you try to explain to people potentially what is going to happen. Yeah. And the first question you said to me is like, Colin, explain this car that catches you. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, when we sit down, we'll go through it. So now we're sat down, so let's go for the whole process. Yeah. So, Wings for Life World Run. This is our 10th anniversary, so we'll be going for 10 years now. And really, we claim to be the biggest running event in the world. So we have over 160,000 people competing all over the world exactly the same time. Hence the reason why it's kind of the biggest inclusive running event in that sense. So do you get me?
Yeah. Do you have to run?
See, no, you don't.
Right.
So that's the magic about our event. I always say to people, as an international sport director, what I say to people is own your run. Yes. Right, so that's it. You know, just do what you want to do. Do it how you want to participate. Because at the end of the day, for us, the biggest important thing about it is that you're contributing to spinal cord injury research by your donation of your start fee. Yeah. So we would just say to them, it's your day, it's your run. The only thing we ask of you is to start at 11 o'clock UTC, which is 12 o'clock here in the United Kingdom, just to be part of the event. Yeah. So I kind of did a little bit of that bit. Now let's do the event itself, right? The running event. So you set off 30 minutes before the finish line. Now the finish line is the catcher car. It's the car that's chasing you. Right. So that's the reason why a car is chasing you, because the catcher car is the finish line. And as soon as the catcher car catches you, it's the end of your race. So think of it as simply as that, right? Let's not get any more complicated than that. So what we kind of want people to do and very much be part of is understand that you can get friends and family members around to join in with you. Yeah. We run here in the UK using an app. Right. So there's a couple of organised app events. So there's one here in London, one in Bath, one in Manchester, and one in Glasgow. Yep. And that's where everybody will get together and participate as a unit in that sense, as you can imagine. But also, when you do download the app, it comes automatically on your phone. There's lots of lovely little things that you can do with the app, not just on the race day race. But when it is race day on May the 7th, the app will automatically start at 11 o'clock and off you go. And you can literally be part of this massive race from your doorstep. So you can run, you can walk, you can, get your cup of coffee, you can literally do anything that you want to do, anything you want to do and be part of this event. And then as the catch a car speeds up, every half an hour it speeds up. So first half an hour starts at 14 kilometers and we get quicker to a maximum speed of 35. But by the time we've got to 35, we've caught most people.
Most everyday people anyway.
We've got most people in that sense. So that's the reason why it's so inclusive and lovely, because you can do 250 meters or you can do 65 kilometers, depending where you fit into that. Right, somewhere along the line.
And does the app just ping then when the car has?
So when the car will catch, there's a whole thing. So when you put your headphones on itself, you don't feel like, oh, I just got my headphones on, nothing's happening. We're giving you information, we're feeding you stuff all the time, we're encouraging you. There's a playlist. We have a little bit of a playlist for people to get involved in. I think my playlist may be on this year as well at some stage. So you can hear what kind of records I'll listen to when I would go out running. So we entertain you all the time. We keep you updates all the time, and also we'll tell you how far you've gone, and we'll try and gently encourage you. So it's you're immersed in an amazing kind of virtual run. That's a mass participation run, but you're submerged in your own particular ways, which is kind of great. So if you want to be on your own, you can, but you're not, if you see what I mean. But if you want people to join you, exactly the same. You can all be part of the same big event.
Amazing. And it's so aligned to kind of what we do as a club as well, because we run a virtual club on a Wednesday night, which is the same ethos, so different to that moment. But we say to everybody, if you can't get to a satellite group, or you can't be in a group, because actually not everyone likes running in a
together,
big group, right? People do like being on their own. But we give them kind of 4 different things they can choose from every week, and then they can go, right, I picked this, and at 7 o'clock everyone goes out and does it, and then they post pictures afterwards to say, I did this and this is how it worked. But it just gives people the encouragement and the sense of community in the same way that on that day you're going to have 160,000 people, which I think is phenomenal across the world at the same time. Running.
And what is great about it, because we choose that UTC kind of as our starting time. So of course, like in New York, it's kind of like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then in Japan it'd be like 8 o'clock at night. So we get images of people at nightfall, sunrises. We just get so many great images from across the world of people all running for one cause, is to get that cure for spinal cord injury and support the Wings for Life Foundation.
Amazing. And so obviously you said it's been going for 10 years. So how did you kind of transition from being a professional athlete into getting involved?
Well, this would be our 10th race. So and I've been here from right from the beginning. Literally, I was asked to do it, to be part of the team. And when I was asked, I was really kind of grumpy, right? I'll be honest, right? And I was like, okay, what is this thing? Because, like everybody else, I'd not seen it, not been done before. So I was like, what am I getting myself involved with here? And when I heard the story about the foundation and what we were trying to achieve in the foundation, that's what hooked me straight away. And adding to that, when you realise spinal cord injury isn't about extreme sports in that sense, majority, like 50% of them are car accidents. So when you think every day or most days somebody will get in a car or do something, and somebody will get in a car and take that car journey, so they have the potential of being in a chair. So when you think about it at a really basic level of that, then you can see, well, why aren't we doing much more to try and find a cure for spinal cord injury? It makes sense for us to do that. So that's the reason why I really just got involved. And then adding to that unique factor of what the race actually was, and I could see what the fun element could be in that sense, and how it's an event that can get people who've never run before to participate, because it's not intimidating. So I'm not saying to you, you have to run a marathon, you have to run we don't operate like that. You go as far as you possibly can, you enjoy the experience, and you just tell more and more people about what you did and how far you went. Because I always say to people, you will always surprise yourself. Trust me, you will always go much further than you think. So get involved.
It's funny actually. We run club nights, and Toby, who you can't see, is there on camera. We do a session called a handicap run. So you set people off. You might know about it, but you basically go, right, what's your kind of 5K time? and you set off the person that's the slowest first, and the aim is that by the time you finish, so you set everyone off in order, and they catch each other. But everyone always ends up going faster than they think.
Of course.
Because you don't want someone to catch you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same with the car. You end up going faster
Absolutely.
and further because you don't want the car to catch you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's it's the funniest thing, because I work in headquarters at race control. And I watch on the screen as they catch a car sometimes, because we have physical events as well. So when we have those flagship events, I watch on the screens how all of a sudden people kind of get another lease of life as the catcher car is closing in on them. And I was like, you should have pushed yourself earlier. I really think you could have gone a little bit further.
Yeah.
But it's always, I guess it's that feeling, you know, when the catcher car clutches people and you see them kind of just throw themselves big smiles because they're like, oh, the race is dead, but how much fun it was. And they just love the fact they're being chased. I think that's one of the good things.
And it's fun, right? Which is what it should be.
Big time fun. Yeah. And I always say, I love watching people at the end. And because it's not an event where people will become anxious.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say it's not an event, because there's not that direct finish line. So there's no need to be anxious, because you can stop and walk if you want to stop and walk. Yeah. It really doesn't matter, you know. And I think that's the real beauty of it. Because sometimes, you know, I go to some of the big events, you know, the street events, watching, and people are petrified. And I'm like, why you shouldn't be petrified in a sense. You should be completely different. You should be there to have a great time. And so I think from our event is something that people will always just love because of that aspect. They're just there to have a good time. Doesn't matter. And nobody's going to judge.
Absolutely. And so are you still running? And do you run on the day as well? Or are you in the room?
No, I don't run on the day because I'm at the race control. So as the sport director, I said, I'm looking out for those people who are mischievous and who want to take a quick route, or, you know, go on a bike, or go on a scooter, or whatever they want to do, just to get themselves higher on the list, you know? Yeah. Because once you finish the race, we do, you can download where you finished in the world. Right. So you can see if you were first, and if you are first, you get a message from me. I'll ring you up. So very, very special.
Yep. That's what we're all aiming for in the first place.
So, but, you know, we always give people the opportunity to see, you know, be able to see where they finished in the world, and you can print out a certificate to say that you participated. And if it was me running, I'd be 160,000th in the world, I think, in that sense. But yeah, no, I can get out there. I can still run. So, and I'm lucky, and I generally mean when I say I'm lucky, because like my general fitness allows me just to be able to do a 10K without even thinking about it. If someone said, "Oh, can you do?" Yeah, I'm going to do a 10K, 6 miles. Well, I'm okay to do 6 miles and still have a good life, right? Yeah. So whilst I think like sometimes some people can be a little bit intimidated, as we mentioned about distance, but as a sprinter, I can still happily do that, and not worry. Yeah.
And do you still are you still formally trained? As in, like, do you run a set amount of days a week? Or?
No, I don't do that in that sense. I think my fitness regime and plan really revolves on everybody else around me as well. Yeah. So, you know, my friends will say, can we go on a bike today? And I'll go, yeah, let's go on a bike. And we'll ride for a bit. Or we'll walk. I mean, a couple of days ago when I came back from Switzerland, I was walking like 2 hours in the day. So you just walk for that 2 hours. So for me, my fitness regime has to be completely holistic. I have to mix it up all the time. Yep. So that's why I'm capable of doing, you know, a 5K, 10K. And the best 5Ks for me are 5Ks where like we do fartleks in them as well, because that's the fun bit of it, because it's that testing. You're like, I'm exhausted, I'm not sure if I can do the next lamppost, you know, where I've got to do, but that is called short, sharp, sweet. You know, you can do that in 30 minutes. It can all be done easy peasy in 30 minutes. You can go out, get to your place, do the run, get back, walk back. I'm a person I don't start from my door.
No, I don't.
Did you just say?
No.
Yeah, no, I don't start from it. I walk a little bit first, and I've got a starting point, which is between me and you. I hope nobody's listening. It's flat.
Oh, I'm the same. Okay. I refuse. So, that's a very good point. So within our kind of club and community, you have two kinds of people. Yeah. Those that run hills and those that don't. Yeah. And I hate them. Toby's the opposite. So we go on a long run, and there's a hill, and we call it Shuffle Hill, because usually I get to the bottom and go, well, I quit, I'm not running. And usually Toby's run up it and then comes back down and goes, come on,
And
run
come
up
and
it.
collect you. Yeah. No, my days of hill sprints are long gone, put it that way, right? Done enough in my life.
Yeah.
So I live on the coast, so and I still live on the coast, it's still quite hilly by me. So I literally walk up the hill, down the hill, and then I start on the flat. And then that's where I'll always kind of want to be. And so vice versa. So when I finish, I'll finish and I'll walk back home quite nicely, quite steadily, go through the door, and people think, well, you haven't done anything. Well, I haven't really. Got to just walk back home now.
Yeah. I've walked up the hill. I've had a nice run on the flat.
In between, but don't worry about it.
Yeah. And so, have you ever gone like further than kind of 10k? Have you ever considered doing halves and marathons? What are you?
No, I've not considered it. Right?
You've done it.
I've no. Well, it's an odd thing. So, we all know lovely Sir Brendan Foster, right?
Yeah.
He gave me a call and he said to me, Colin, I need you to do this thing for me. I was like, go on, what do you want me to do, Bren? He said, can you run in between around all the schools, primary schools in Westminster? So here. So I was like, yeah, Westminster's flat. That's okay. I'll do that. Then I didn't even ask him how many schools there or how far it was going to be. So I was away at the time and he said to me, yeah, it's going to happen in about 2 weeks. I went, oh, okay. Yeah, because I was skiing. I said, I'll be fine. No problem like that. I said, just, Bren, roughly, how far do you think it will be? And he said, oh, it'll be about 13 miles. So I was like, because then what I broke it down to going, oh, it's going to be a 10k. I could do another 10k and add a little bit on the end. That's fine. No problem. So that's was my approach. We've reached the half marathon stage. And we still had about 8 scores to do. So eventually I got to 19 miles.
Wow.
And and then, my legs were hurting, I must admit. But my thighs were killing me. And then when I got to the end of the school, the finish of the run, the very last school then asked me if I would show the kids how to do some dance from Strictly Come Dancing. So I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Do you know how far I've just run and you want me to dance, right? And you saw all these lovely little faces looking up at me. I was like, I'm going to have to do something, aren't I? So I said, oh, what dance do you guys know? And they went, the quick step. I was like, the fastest dance in ballroom you want me to do after I've run 19 miles? It's not happening. So let's do something really slow. Shall we teach you to
like
do
a walk.
Really gentle. So that was my introduction into long distance running. Yeah.
So given that you've done 19 miles,
I know what you're going to say, and the answer is no.
Right? So 19 miles is basically the longest you'll ever go in a training run. 20. Would you go and do a marathon?
Do you know, that's exact. Oh, you've done that. You can do a marathon. I was like, no. When I finished that 19 miles, I got back home, I showered and I changed, and I went out. I was hosting an awards that evening. And when I got up off the chair to stand on the stage, I thought, I don't know these legs. I mean, I really don't know these legs. So I can only imagine what it'd like being a marathon run in that sense. And I was like, no. And the other thing is I'd have to prepare properly and to do the 19 miles. I didn't do any real preparation. I just relied on my general fitness, and I think I love that part of it. So it's like, I don't have to prepare. I'm just generally fit, so I'll just go out and see how far I can do. So that's
the spontaneity, right? Yeah. Rather than the plan the
plan. Yeah, in that sense. So 90 miles is far enough.
And do you think that's because you spent so long in training and in plans and in routine that actually now it's about removing that and just doing it for fun?
Absolutely. It'd be a little bit like a busman's holiday if I was doing everything quite strictly in that sense. So I wouldn't want that to happen. I think it takes away the enjoyment from me. So I like having that general lifestyle of being fit. So like I say, I ski, I can snowboard, I play tennis, I play badminton. So I do lots of activities that kind of keep myself generally moving, because I think movement is the most important thing.
Yeah, and it's for fun then, right?
Absolutely. It has to be for fun, no doubt.
And so thinking about our runners, so as we said, we are everyday runners, and a bit like the Red Bulls Wings for Life, we don't care if you run, walk, skip, how far you go, what speed you go, it makes no difference, right? It's just a place where people can come together and feel part of something. What kind of tips would you give them? So let's say like they're doing Couch to 5k, or they want to get up and go, I'm really inspired by this, I want to get involved, or I want to start running. What are the first couple of tips you'd think to give them? Well,
I'd say don't watch marathon running on the TV and think that you are one of them, right? That's the thing, because you're not, right? In that sense, go to the very beginnings. Always say to yourself, you know what? look at my achievements and make sure they're right and realistic for that particular moment in time. In 18 months, you'll be a very different runner to you are when you start. So you've got to think to yourself, do you know what? Let me just get out there and take my time. That's the most important thing. Don't think you're Paula Radcliffe from the get-go, because you're not. So get a good pair of shoes as well that are really comfy for you, because you don't want your feet to ache. And nowadays there's so many great pairs of shoes out there that will be good for you. So that would say that, and also do it with conviction. You know, just when you say you can go out and do it, don't be timid. Just go out there and just do it, and don't be afraid to walk. If you need to walk, you know, if you need to go and say to yourself, some people are, I'm kind of going a bit round and round here, but I would say some people are better with time and some people are better with distance. So if you're somebody who's a time person, go, you know what, I'm going to try today. I'm going to go out and try not to stop for 5 minutes. That's going to be my target. I'm going to just run, jog for 5 minutes. Other people will go, oh, I want to go, 6 lampposts or whatever it is. So choose which is your best option and get yourself going, and do it with conviction. Give it some gusto that you really do in your heart and soul. Don't be timid, and just enjoy it. Because that's a good challenge. You'll always come back and go, oh yeah, I'm glad I enjoyed that.
We always say that as well. We're like, it's about consistency as well. But you can do it. You can always go further than you think. There's always more in there. But
I think you're right, being consistent as well. So when you start, just say to yourself, right, I'm going to do this, say, right, twice a week. That's my beginning point. So I'm going to choose the easiest days that I can do it on, and make it become part of your lifestyle. Once it becomes part of what you do and who you are, then it becomes easy, because it's not a chore. You're doing it because it's like, okay, this is what I do on a Thursday, or this is what I do on a Saturday, kind of thing. And I think, that's a good thing. When I was coming from professional sport, of course, it was very different, because that's what you do, right? It is your life, right? But find the time to do it, because running, exercise is the thing that you get the most benefit of as an individual. When we work for a living, most of us work for people, so they get on all the benefits of our hard work. But if you do exercise, you get the benefit of all your hard work. True. So you should really commit yourself to yourself and look after your body better than you look after your car. Because lots of people will look after their cars better than their bodies. They'll fuel it, they'll clean it. Well, think what you're doing with your body.
And based on that, so you obviously spent so long being an athlete and having to run on your own and training, well, possibly in groups, but it was about you as an individual. So when you either run or you exercise now, are you someone that likes to be in a group, or do you prefer to be on your own because that's how you're conditioned to have been in that competitive sense?
Groups always, even as an athlete, we kind of had great kind of camaraderie with our teammates, because that shared experience is something great, so even when you're exhausted, nobody's talking to each other, but after we finished, we're talking, and we're just talking about what happened and who was looking the worst at the end of the run or whatever. So there's always that sense of fun pulling and camaraderie in that. So I very much enjoyed working in a group.
And do you ever get out to like your local park run? Have you ever been?
I've never been to a park run. I've seen it on lots of occasions, because as I'm driving past them, I give them a little bit of a wave. But predominantly because most weekends that I'm working, so the time when they're on is like not for me, unfortunately.
All right. We do a thing on our podcast on the long run, which is called the lightning round.
Okay.
So if you're all right, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Do I need to take a deep breath?
I'll be nice.
Okay.
There's only kind of like 5 or 6 questions. Okay. They're all like, you'll know the answer instinctively.
Oh, okay? Go on then.
We'll start off easy, and I just warn you now, these aren't really about running, most of them.
All right, okay.
So they're just general questions to get to know you.
Okay.
All right, let's go with the lightning round. You'll know the answer to all of these instinctively.
Right.
Quick fire.
All right.
Red or brown sauce?
Oh, I'm kind of in between, because like I have red sauce on bacon. No, I don't. I have brown sauce on bacon, red sauce on sausage sandwiches. So I'm kind of in between. And I think I was brought up on, my mum used to put brown sauce on bacon sandwiches and give them to us. So I think it's her fault.
Fine. Pre-race breakfast?
Oh, yogurt and a black coffee.
Okay. Ibiza or Vegas? Vegas.
Ibiza.
Okay. The Olympics or the World Champs?
Oh, that's a good one. World.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
You know, I say why. Why? I like just being my athlete mates.
Fair enough. Favourite podcast?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh,
Obviously, After Us.
yeah. Maybe I like Gabby's midlife crisis one. Hers is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, most probably Gabby's midlife one. Yeah.
Right. Biggest regret: second in the Olympics or second on Strictly?
Oh, second on Strictly. Who cares about the Olympics?
Would you swap your long-standing world record for the Olympic gold?
Oh God, no.
No?
No, no chance. No. I've never swapped any of my accolades for anything. No.
All right. And last one, this is the most important.
Okay.
As a Welshman, we know you can sing. What's your go-to karaoke song?
I'm a Welshman who can't sing, but what would I sing? Oh, that's a good question. What would I sing? Oh, I don't know what I'd sing. It'd be something quite funky, though. It'd be quite upbeat in that sense.
Yeah.
Let me think what I would sing.
So I've never done karaoke, we learnt the other day, but I would go for the Spice Girls or something Oasis, I think.
Oh, good. Yeah, good shout in that sense. See, I'd feel myself to be someone like Stevie Wonder.
Oh.
So I'd fancy myself, singing, yeah, something like Stevie Wonder would be a good number. Any of his records. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you can come to our Christmas party then, because apparently that's what we're doing.
Really?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, thank you so much for your time today. It's been lovely to chat to you.
I've loved it. Thank you.
Red Bull Wings for Life, 7th of May.
7th of May,
Yeah.
11 o'clock UTC. That's 12 o'clock here in UK. You can either download the app yourself,
Yeah.
or you can be part of one of our wonderful app runs across the country. But it's May the 7th. Be there.
All right. Amazing. Thank you very much, Colin. It's been great to talk to you.